In the 2020 season, the Boston Celtics had a pretty good run where they made it to the conference finals, beating the Sixers and the Raptors, beating the Raptors in a grueling 7 games. And I think that the Celtics will be back better than ever. And today we're going to be showing why. But before we get started, it would be greatly appreciated if you subscribe to the channel. Here on the Mix channel, we make daily uploads, and I would really appreciate it if you join the squad. And also, shout out to Vampire King. He subscribed to the channel, and so because of that, he told me in the comments, and I gave him a shout out. If you want a shout out, then subscribe and comment down below that you subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. So now, let's see why the Celtics will be back. Well, the first reason is that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will be better. Jaylen Brown is 24, and I'm pretty sure Tatum's 22 or 21. So, and this is their 3rd and 4th season. And I think that they're going to have another big leap. And also, this is unscripted, so I'm just speaking what's in my mind. So, Jason Tatum averaged like 24, 8 rebounds, and like 4 assists, and made the All-NBA 3rd team. But after the All-Star break, he averaged like 26 points and emerged as a superstar in the league. And Jaylen Brown looked pretty impressive, and he was actually in the debate with Jason Tatum before the All-Star break to be in the All-Star game. So he was very well and also stepped up a lot in the playoffs. Now, going back to Tatum, he is basically an all-around player, a 3-level scorer, and is amazing at everything. His defense is really good, and I think he can be a leader. Tatum, I think, can reach the 27 to 26 points mark and be on a winning team while being the first option. So I think Tatum will just take another big step. Also, Jaylen Brown will take another big step. Sure, if they let him play the amount of minutes like he did in the playoffs, he will perform. He's a two-way player, can defend, can shoot, can do everything, can dunk really well. And just Jaylen Brown is just a really good player every team wants. Him and Tatum were taken with the Nets pick in the Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett deal. So I think that those two are definitely their building blocks. And then they have other players like Kemba Walker, who kind of disappointed in the playoffs, but he's still a really good player, going to be an all-star every year. Marcus Smart, the glue guy, who's the defensive stud, and if the Celtics offense is being slow, Marcus Smart is always there to score, hit some threes, and be the energy guy. Gordon Hayward, who was an expiring deal, and I think will be shipped out. They signed him from the Jazz in a $30 million deal, but he got injured. As we all know, that was scary. And so he's been kind of not Utah Jazz, Gordon Hayward. And then they also have players like Enes Kanter, Daniel Tice, who's been pretty good, but I still think they need an upgrade. They have young players like Romeo Langford. They hold the 14th pick in the draft. And so the Celtics are in a very good mood. And I think that in this offseason, they're going to trade Gordon Hayward and potentially like their 26th pick for Miles Turner and like Jeremy Lamb for salary. Miles Turner can be that center in the middle, will protect the paint, decent at rebounding, but Tatum is already a really good rebounder and can stretch the floor. I think Miles Turner is the perfect fit. Sometimes people want to say like they should get Rudy Gobert, but I don't know if Rudy Gobert is the perfect fit because he can't space the floor and he's an expiring deal. But Miles Turner is on a bigger deal. For Rudy Gobert, they would have to give up Gordon Hayward, the 3 first-round picks, and probably Romeo Langford. Romeo Langford was selected with the 14th pick with the Kings pick last year, and he hasn't looked very good. He hasn't played very much, but I guess he's a young asset still. So the Celtics, of course, the East is pretty wide open still. Sure, there's a lot of contenders in the Bucks, Raptors, Nets, Sixers. Potentially, I think they've moved down to Dark Horse. And so, yeah, and the Celtics, of course, are in the mix. And if Kemba, and they can get Miles Turner, if Kemba performs well in the playoffs, they can go pretty far. They beat the Raptors in 7 games, and they lost to the Heat in 6 games, and the Heat were just so good. Jimmy Buckets, he's just so good. But Tatum looks like a top 15 player in the league. Kemba hopefully steps up. He has finally some playoff experience and has actually made it far, so it's always a good sign. Jaylen Brown's going to get even better. Marcus Smart is still going to be Marcus Smart. They hope they might trade up in this draft using their 14th pick. Or they, like the other times, they draft someone. Now, the problem with drafting someone is that they don't really have the most rotation spots because they're contending. And that means that they're not going to get a lot of minutes like Romeo Langford. So, I think they should try to get a vet. Maybe package these for like another center, of course. Maybe I can't name anyone right now. But so yeah, so the Celtics would definitely be back. Tatum is gonna emerge. Gordon Hayward is probably gonna be flipped. Kemba Walker, hopefully now that he has some playoff experience, he's gonna be back. Jaylen Brown's gonna get better. Marcus Smart will always be there, and it's still the Boston Celtics, one of the best managed team in the league. And when you have Brad Stevens, a top 5 coach in the league, and I forgot their GM name. I forgot it. Sorry. And so with just that, they finesse so many people. And Kemba actually might be on the move. I don't think that's going to happen, but because he is a pretty good fit. So the Celtics will definitely be back and contending in the Eastern Conference. So yeah, this was a pretty short video of just saying what's on my mind. This was unscripted. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.